Thank you for watching the Secondary Curriculum and Programs video. I'll be telling you a little bit about what we do in the secondary program and some of the initiatives that we have going on. Footprints International School's mission is to provide a high standard of education which is affordable for parents in the context of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Our vision for FIS is to create a learning community in which students, staff, and parents are actively engaged together in developing the knowledge, skills, understanding, attitudes, and love of learning needed to succeed in the world in which they live. We have two main aims of the curriculum at the secondary campus. First, we want to be aligned with the mission and vision of FIS as a whole, and second, we want to cater to the whole child, balancing academics with character education. The FIS vision, which affects everything that we do, is to develop students who are creative and independent learners, collaborative and effective team members, respectful and responsible individuals, as well as precise and powerful communicators. Footprints International School at all levels uses the Cambridge International Examinations curriculum. Cambridge provides us with frameworks, schemes of work, teacher guides to help us teach the curriculum as set forth by Cambridge, endorsed textbooks which match up with the syllabus that the students will be tested on, and progression and checkpoint tests to accurately give us a good idea of the progress of our students. I'd like to give you a brief overview of how the grades are set up at secondary. We have grades 6 through 12, which correspond with Cambridge levels 7, 8, 9, then 2 years of IGCSE, and then 2 years of A levels. So grades 6, 7, and 8 correspond to approximately to ages 11 through 14 years old, and that's comprised of the Secondary 1 program. Next, we have grades 9 and 10, which are part of the IGCSE program, and that forms Secondary 2. Finally, we have grades 11 and 12, which are part of the A levels, which is the advanced program. And that corresponds to students who are ages 16 through 18 and would finish in high school graduation. The Secondary 1 program, which is grades 6 through 8, or levels 7 through 9 in the Cambridge system, starts with mathematics. In grades 6 through 8, students cycle through increasing levels of algebra, geometry, measuring, and data, going into problem solving at the end of Secondary 1. In science, each term they discuss biology, and then they move on to chemistry in the second term and physics in the third term. These cycle through all the way until they get to the IGCSE in Secondary 2. Next, social studies is a subject that we use Arrow standards for, not Cambridge. In 6th grade we focus on geography. In 7th grade we focus on global religions, medieval societies, and other things like that. And in grade 8 we discuss such things as revolution and colonialism, as well as genocide. Next, in language arts, in grade 6 we start with fiction, poetry, autobiography, and poetry pre-1900. In grade 7 we move to political writings and social issues, as well as poetry post-1900. And in grade 8, at the end of Secondary 1, we discuss dialect, multicultural writings, and poetry, as well as more reference materials. Finally, at the end of the IGCSE program, students sit the IGCSE exams for each subject. The IGCSE is set up as a 2-year course, so we begin in grade 9 with numbers, algebra, geometry, measuring, coordinate geometry, and then in grade 10 we move on to trigonometry, matrices, and transformation, and then some probability and statistics. For science, we continue to focus on 3 different sciences per year. The first is biology, then we have chemistry and physics, and in grade 10 we repeat those, and of course with each cycle those topics get more advanced. In social studies we have 2 courses at one time. First we have global perspectives, which addresses things such as biodiversity, urban life, human connection, and then moves on to physical geography and mankind's relationship with the environment. In the history course, we start with World War I, discuss peace treaties and the League of Nations, and then move on in grade 10 to the Cold War and Middle Eastern issues. At the IGCSE level, which is secondary 2, which corresponds with grades 9 and 10 in our system, we have 4 main subjects. We have social studies, which is comprised of 20th century history as well as global perspectives. We have English language arts, we have mathematics, and we have biology, chemistry, and physics. For math, as mentioned before, in secondary 1 we have cycles of algebra, geometry, and measurement. And then in the IGCSE we have increased difficulty with advanced algebra, geometry, trigonometry, and some statistics. We try to make that as relevant as possible to students' lives. You can see here that we like to go outside and do fun activities that help the students understand mathematics and the world around them. We also like to take field trips to places such as Olympic Market or other markets around Phnom Penh and calculate angles, and sometimes even field trips to do budgeting activities so that students can figure out what the real cost of things is and how to apply that to their daily lives. In science, as mentioned before, in secondary 1 we have cycles of chemistry, biology, and physics, and then further in the IGCSE program we have advanced studies on those same topics. We also have a fully functioning lab that allows students to do in-depth experiments on each area of study. Next, in English language arts, in secondary 1, grades 6 through 8, students study a variety of things such as fiction, autobiography, poetry, novels and stories, dialect, multicultural writings and poetry, travel writing, and reference. Then they move on to more difficult things in the IGCSE, such as long-form writing, speeches, persuasion, technology, poetry, analysis, and they learn how to write appropriately for their courses. At FIS, we have several ways that we assess students' progress. In grades 6 through 9, we have progression tests at the end of every grade, and that determines the progress that the students have made according to the Cambridge curriculum. Of course, throughout the year, at the end of each term, we have teacher-made tests that correspond to the amount of material that they have covered based on the syllabus. At the end of grade 10, the students sit the IGCSE exam, and then we also have a writing portfolio at the end of every term in which students submit 2 pieces of written work. One of those is unedited, so that we can see the level that the student is at on their own, and another one is a finely polished piece of work with teacher and peer input. In line with our philosophy as the student as a whole child, we also have character education. We have a full-time counselor who focuses on things of importance such as developing higher order thinking skills, which we do in all classes, but he also focuses on social intelligence. We want all our students to possess zest, grit, self-control, social intelligence, open-mindedness, curiosity, determination, creativity, and a growth mindset. We want failure to be an option for our students so that they can learn and improve. For our extracurricular and elective programs, FIS students receive regular PE, art, and music classes in grade 6. After that, they receive PE, and also they can choose electives based on their interest and the abilities of the teachers that we have on staff at the time. We try to provide a balanced blend of artistic things and physical things and other things that students might be interested in, such as chess, filmmaking, mythology, drama, business, environmental studies, and more. Further, we also provide opportunities for students to play football, volleyball, and basketball with other leagues at other schools in the area. Next, we have a community service program that we have developed in order to help students get involved in the community here in Phnom Penh. We have identified local area NGOs that we can recommend for students to be involved in. And in line with that, we want students to reflect on their experience. We do require for graduation 40 hours total, and we divide that up in 10 hours of volunteering per year. We conduct an assessment based on the student's interest, and we try to have a number of NGOs to provide the students with opportunities that align with their interest. Of course, students are free to choose another NGO or another project that they're interested in with prior approval from the Community Service Program Coordinator, which is the counselor. At the end of grade 12, the students will present a final capstone presentation, allowing them to reflect and display the work that they've been doing in their community service program over the course of their high school career. At FIS, we take the quality of our teachers very seriously. We recruit high-quality certified teachers from an English-speaking country, ideally with international experience already. We have regular observations and planning time, and we provide opportunities for those teachers to have professional development, both in school, out of school, and abroad. We monitor student progress through two ways, academic and social emotional. In the academics, we monitor them through midterm progress reports, in which any student with a D or lower receives a progress report and meets with the principal and counselor to come up with ideas on how they can improve and identify any problem areas. For term report cards, we give out the report card, and that has all of the grades from the international program and the Khmer program, as well as the extracurricular activities that they do. Then, at the end of each term, we have exams made by the teacher in line with the Cambridge curriculum, and then we have yearly assessments, which are the progression tests that Cambridge provides. Next, we monitor students' social and emotional health. In their health class, they address relevant topics, and they have one-on-one meetings with the school counselor and the principal. In line with our philosophy as the student as a whole child, we also have character education. We have a full-time counselor who focuses on things of importance, such as developing higher order thinking skills, which we do in all classes, but he also focuses on social intelligence. We want all our students to possess zest, grit, self-control, social intelligence, open-mindedness, curiosity, determination, creativity, and a growth mindset. Some of our current initiatives at the secondary level are developing sports teams which can compete locally with other international schools. We're developing a study abroad program to Singapore with Youth Ambassador Singapore. The first project that we'll participate in Singapore is the Youth Environmental Summit in the spring of 2017. And then we are also working on developing the A-levels for our incoming grade 11 students. We'd like to thank you for watching the secondary programs and curriculum presentation. Feel free to contact us at the FIS Facebook page at the link you see there, or email us at inquiries@footprintschool.edu.kh. We're happy to hear from you, and we're glad you took the time to watch.